Hello, everybody.
Hi, it's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining our live.
Thank you very much. Let's wait a few moments for connection to happen and for everybody to join in. Meanwhile, let us know if you can hear us well by commenting plus, and if you cannot hear us well, please comment minus. In this way, we will understand how good is connection or how bad.
This is very important to us. Give us some feedback on the sound.
I remember there was some live where I was talking for about a minute and a half and no one could hear me. Plus.
All right, great news.
Cool.
Guys, let us know also where you're watching from. We are always thrilled to figure out that we have audience from all over the country and the state, and sometimes from different countries. So we are always very excited about this one. Please let us know where you're watching from, where you are located tonight.
We are located in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, we are home in California.
Okay, North Carolina, San Francisco.
Amazing.
That's great.
DC, Northern Virginia,
New York.
DC. Beautiful.
Wow, that's quite a geography.
Yeah, very.
Thank you, guys.
Diverse.
If you already like this live, press like and share.
We're so happy to be back. We haven't spoken to our audience for quite a while, and so many things have changed in our professional lives and in our personal lives in a way. Because we love what we do, and we are very much connected to our jobs and our dance lives. So we are excited to be back to talk live with our audience, with you guys, and today's subject is very, very interesting as well.
Yeah.
But we will get into it.
Let's wait just a few more moments and we start.
Yaroslav, you're getting your likes. He loves if you guys hit the like button.
For likes. There is no other motivation for me to do it. No, I'm joking.
So if you want this lecture to be really good, hit that like button.
50. We need 50 likes. Sarasota, Florida, Boston, New York, Texas, Houston.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So someone asked me, why you guys giving out all this information for free? We feel like, of course, information is very valuable, but by us giving it all out doesn't mean people can do it right away. So there is still some room for guidance and other things. So we will give out even more information for free, and you will be the judge how easy or difficult it is to actually execute.
Yeah, and this is something that we will touch base a little bit on tonight, talking about the intention, right?
Yeah.
Talking about our subject.
And execution. Anyway, let's start.
Arizona. All right, beautiful.
Let's start, guys. We're excited to welcome you. This is our 12th live. The subject is intention during dance practice and dance competition.
Exactly.
Of course, intention is a broad subject. Intention is everywhere. Everything starts with intention. But we are focused specifically on ballroom dancing. We will not give you any life advice, for your private life or business or whatever. We're just gonna be focused on ballroom dancing. We are specialized in international standard, as you know, but I think that talking about intention in dancing, it can really cover all other styles. I don't really see much difference. How about you, Lilia?
Yeah, this is a very broad subject.
Yeah.
If you find it helpful for anything else you do, maybe ballroom dancing can help as well to apply.
And we promise, guys, we will have another live in November. It's been very, very busy time for us. As someone might have known, we have retired from a competitive dance career successfully. So I've been dancing now, I can tell, my career was 25 years. Lilia's was...
I will not give it out. I started when I was 4 years old, so it's been a long journey as well. And of course, we had a good and long journey together, and we are very excited for this new chapter. And happily retired from competitive field right now.
Lots of things to do besides competitive dancing, and we felt that we just need more time during the day to finish other things, and we felt like we were spending a lot of time practicing and doing other things, and at some point we thought maybe we need to use this time in a different ways. So that's really the main reason behind the retirement. No, there is no conspiracy here. This is life, and we make our choices.
Thank you so much for your congratulations, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, of course, the dancing remains a big part, and we are still actively teaching, and we love to share our knowledge, as you probably noticed, from our Prism Method project, and we love to give back. And we feel like it is really time for us to give back to our industry, to the dancers, to our viewers, our audience, our students. And yeah, we're very excited about it.
Anyway, that was a little intro. Yeah, let's get to let's get to our subject, intention.
Yes.
So of course, intention is a broad subject. We're gonna narrow it down to the ballroom dancing and also to our methodology. We will be talking first part about intention during the practice, because that's the most fundamental part, and then we are going to get to the intention during competition. And that is all makes sense, because if you're looking at our methodology, the competitive part of it are not first layers. It's more towards the end of it. Yeah. So the top, to be precise. So we will get there towards the end of the lecture.
Okay. So what is intention itself? We made our little research.
Yeah, I mean, everybody here understands what intention is. So let's say it out loud, and let's assume that it's a commitment to a course of action. Or also you can say that intention is a purpose why you're doing things, but also it can be what you're doing exactly, right? Intention is something has something to do with actually execution, right? And then here there is a very famous saying that we just would like to quote. It's not, unfortunately, I haven't said that, or Lilia hasn't said that. It's someone else, This genius thought just happened to be someone else, not ours.
This quote is by William Arthur Ward, and it says, "If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it." And we really love that one, and it really
it describes intention
together,
very well. Intention has something to do not only with knowledge, but also with imagination. So if I have certain knowledge about something, I make a plan, I use my imagination of how I would like to execute it, and then what is very important, I actually make an attempt to execute it.
I go ahead and do it.
And I keep on doing as many attempts as I need until I actually do it, right? So this is really like a good usage of intention. It's something active, and I really like the executive part of it, because again, Lilia, we've been talking about this life, obviously planning it, right? And then we are talking about the thought of you are thinking about something before actually doing it. So what is the thought and in comparison to intention?
What is the difference between them? Yeah.
And I think the thought doesn't guarantee that you are actually going to do it. So I will give you short example. Let's say we are thinking that we are the best. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, wow, I'm the best. I'm so good. Everything, everything about me is good. I'm talking about dancing, let's say, right? Or I will tell to myself that I have an intention to show everybody that I am the best. And this is really the difference. Me sitting in my living room and thinking that I am the best doesn't really do anything for me, except
brings a good mood.
Well, maybe a good mood, but no, that is very passive way of approaching life, I would say, just thinking about something. Yeah, but then if I have an intention to show that I'm the best, then this is more, it gets a little clearer already. And this is really the difference that we are talking about. Then, of course, you make the plan. So if I want to show everybody that I'm the best, what do I need to do? And now intention is getting even clearer. And then you make up your research. Maybe you want to show, the best lines or the best musicality, or I don't know, the best
Dynamics,
dress. Yeah. So
whatever helps.
yeah, here it just really up to the planning and imagination and creativity as well. Dancing has a lot of creativity.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So having an intention means being proactive, means having a thought and executing your thoughts, actually making a plan, imagining the exact sequence of actions, and as Yaroslav said, attempting to do it or actually doing it. So it is a very active position. And in terms of ballroom dancing as a physical activity, as a visual art, as a performing art, it is very important to actually go ahead and do it, because many dancers, unfortunately, they get trapped in their heads and their minds, and they know a lot of things about ballroom dancing. They have this great knowledge. They know exactly how to do things and what to do in which moment of time, but they would often only have it in their heads. So they would never have an intention to actually show it, to actually put it in their bodies, to actually produce something that they know that is supposed to look like, let's say, a waltz, or they know that it's supposed to look like a good natural turn. They very often know it in theory, and they would never have enough intention to actually put it in their bodies. And this is a very important mental shift that we believe every dancer has to go through, from the moment when they're receiving the information to the moment when they're going into the dance practice.
Absolutely. And I think we should do it day by day. So we take practice by practice. The plan consists of many small steps. It's not, I intend to win and I will win in 1 year, and I'm not going to make any plan how I'm going to win. I'm just going to win in 1 year. It just doesn't work this way.
Very often it happens. Very often.
Well, I mean, the win doesn't happen, but the
actual
setup.
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions so far before we start getting more into methodology? If you have any questions or comments, please let us know.
Perhaps you feel yourself sort of a little bit trapped in this thinking mode.
Do you have intention during the practice? Sound quality is getting bad. I am so sorry. Is it mine or Lilia's?
Yeah, let us know if you have any issues hearing us. We have these.
The intention is to have the best sound quality.
Let us know. Maybe
mine
that's a connection.
Still working. Yeah.
Voices.
Warbling.
All right.
Maybe internet.
Now it's better.
All right.
All right. So we were asking if you guys perhaps can relate to something like this, getting trapped in your heads, thinking about what you have to do, but not actually having an intention, not actually doing something that you have in your mind as a thought.
No.
Let us know. Hopefully you can hear us better now.
Yeah, that's internet, that's space. Okay, so we are going. Okay.
I have a first question.
Yeah. Okay, so first question from Trang. My question is, many times I intend and think I'm doing something when practicing, but when I look in the video, nothing of what I intend to do is there. Why is that? Okay, that's
very good question.
Something we have to think before we answer.
That is a very good question. Actually, I have an answer.
Yeah, sure.
Very often we have intention, which is great, but and we have a goal to achieve something. So we have this goal and we intend to go ahead and do something in order to get to this goal. Very often the methods that we are applying are not actually true methods in order for us to achieve that goal. So you might try, let's say you have a goal to achieve more movement, let's say across the floor, and you have intention to produce that good movement, and you are fully ready, you're physically capable, and you're doing it, but the methods you are using perhaps are actually opposite from the methods that actually allows more movement. For example,
technique. By method,
technique. Yeah,
can be technique.
I really mean technique. For example, if I would let's take this example. If I have an intention and I have a goal to achieve more movement in the room, I would have to know exactly what will make me move more. So for example, if I'm trying...
Or the moment when I move in the series of steps.
Yeah, that will be the sequence of actions. So for example, in order for me to achieve bigger movement, I need to apply a lot of body flight before I step. If I don't know that, for example, and I would try to use my leg, I would try to create any kind of compression in the standing leg, for example, and try to
swing the arms, I don't know.
Yeah, drive from the standing leg, or use my arms, let's say, which is completely opposite. Yeah, that makes more sense. So that obviously wouldn't move me. Yeah, so I have to know the right tool that is going to bring me to my goal, because we could be proactive, but without using the right tool, it unfortunately wouldn't bring us sometimes to the goal. So that could be the case.
Can be wrong technique, that's true. And also, we are all very smart, because in 21st century, we have this ability to watch videos or sometimes live.
Access to information.
Right? Yeah, we have this great accessibility to great information, data. So we watch competition and we see throwaway oversway. And then our mind draws a picture of that throwaway oversway for us. And it's done by another person, let's say, or another couple, right? It's not done by ourselves. So we assume that they have done something to look like that, but we see the end of result. Now we are trying to reproduce it, and we are reproducing the end of result in a way that our mind read it externally, but we don't know what those guys' intention was to get to that end of result. What's the sequence and what's the plan? This is where we often get trapped, that you have certain feeling about how it's supposed to be done, but you don't know really how it's done in terms of technique and the sequence.
It comes back to technique, right? Yeah. The clarity of technique that will bring you to your achieve the goal you want to achieve, right?
I would like to answer John that, we think that good instructor must help with intention, that's for sure. By instructor, we really mean teacher, right? And that's teacher's job. And then another one, my teacher keeps telling me I need to come out of my comfort zone. Any suggestions how to show emotions?
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, definitely, I think I said that it's like half a joke, but actually half a truth, right? So I was watching one business vlog. They were doing a lot of videos with famous business people from Ukraine, actually, some Ukrainian billionaires. And one guy said that he spends millions of dollars not to get out of comfort zone.
Yes.
And I can very much relate to it, right? So of course, hard to show emotions when you're out of comfort zone. For example,
except emotional frustration.
Well, I mean, you are in shock. So when I'm out of my comfort zone, of course, I'm kind of in shock, even though I don't really show it. But then the question is, what is comfort zone? You have to be informed. You have to be warned about any things that can go wrong. You have to have a plan of how it's supposed to be, right? It has to be practiced, and that's the comfort zone. And you don't want to leave really the comfort zone. This is just my personal view on that.
You have to expand your comfort zone so you feel comfortable in any stressful situation. Then you are more relaxed, then you are more able to show the emotion. And basically, what is emotion, right? Emotion is scientifically proved that it is a reaction to any external stress factor. Yeah. So of course, if your comfort zone, let's say, is this big, you're getting out of it, you of course experience stress. You are, like Yaroslav says, under shock from new external stress factors, and you will only experience in a way negative emotions, and that would show in a bad way on the dance floor, let's say. But if you are widening and expanding your comfort zone, you have more room for showing, let's say, more positive emotions, because you feel comfortable, you will experience joy, something would influence you from the outside and wouldn't be bad, it would be more familiar to you. So you will be able to express, let's say, more positive, joyful, happy emotions.
And even if you experience something negative, let's say that you are not prepared, something is happening, then you react towards that external factor, right? You're falling off balance somewhere, and then you are, let's say, upset. So I have one of my students. She often has this emotion that she's like very concerned and upset, right? And it happens like subconsciously, really. And it only counts when you decide that it counts. Of course, if it's like important competition for you and you experience that, then you should say, well, I fail in a way because this emotion, I got attached to it, and
over you, right?
Yeah, but then how can we discover where is our zone? This is where I react not in the way that I'm supposed to react, and this is the border of that zone. And now I work with that border. Why? Again, it should come back to simple solutions. There are no difficult here, difficult solutions. Solutions are always sequence of actions, timing, what is your direction, how do you want to do it, and this is again subject of today's lesson. What is the intention behind it? Yeah. So this is our answer.
This is a very interesting question.
Yeah,
actually.
but already great questions. We're 20 minutes into this live and we really enjoy it.
All right. Trank says that intention is different from achieving the desired results without the proper mechanics and technique. Exactly. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yes. So what you do has to match the ending result.
Of course.
And vice versa.
Thank you so much for the questions. Yeah. Really, really great. We expect even better questions for the rest of this live. So let's get back to intention. And let's talk about practice first, and we're going to get the first layer, which is syllabus. So what kind of intention or intentions, plural, are important when you are on the syllabus layer? First of all, knowing your routine. Before I start my movement, my motion, I need to know, I need to picture it and plan what kind of figure or series of figures I'm going to dance. There is no way that you are dancing and let's say just following the teachers.
Or going with the flow very often.
No going with flow on this layer, all right? So if it's chasse to outside change, to the promenade, to something else, you have to know what you're going to do before you're doing it. What are the criteria here? Criteria here can be your footwork, because this is how we define the figure. It can be direction, clear direction. It can be rhythm as well.
Rhythm is very important here, yeah.
Slows or quicks, or
extremely important.
Different syncopated rhythms that we can have in waltz, for example. Those are things that define intention on syllabus layer. We cannot dance anything, let's say in like close silver, without knowing the steps. And knowing the step means timing, rhythm, and
directions.
Yeah, this is really, really important.
And actually, I just want to mention really quickly on the rhythms, because very often people get, let's say, off time, or in relation to the partner, they get late or they get too fast, simply because not having a clear intention on the rhythms. And this goes not only with basic routines, not only with beginners level choreographies. This goes very much as well with your open gold routines. And the more advanced you are, the clearer intention, the better intention you actually have to have on your rhythms. And very often just saying it out loud, just counting it through, makes the whole big difference. And I would say actually that intention, once you are actually talking it through, once you're actually saying it out loud, it becomes real. So once it is only in your head, then of course there's a big danger that it will never become true. But maybe once you are saying it out
change
loud,
the quote. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can say it, you can become it.
Yeah. Yes.
In this case, it's true.
Pronouncing it, saying it out loud, big part of it.
Talking about open gold routines, they are just more difficult. So you have to be even clearer with all the directions and rhythms and everything else. Okay, coming to the next layer, which is posture. With posture, I will do this one. Yeah. So with posture, the whole posture layer is one big intention, because there is a plan to have certain angles in your
body,
in your body, your arms in relation to the chest, and wrist in relation to the upper arm, and so on and so on. So this has to be very, very clear. We have our course on posture that we have recorded first, and the reason why we have done it first, because it absolutely matches any level of dancer, any age or size or gender. We have certain angles that we have to use in order to get to the international standard frame,
yeah.
let's say, if
it's
we
the
call
skeleton,
it
right?
Yeah,
so
it's just pure biomechanics
Yeah.
and anatomy. So this is one big intention. If you know technique, you know the sequence and how to do it, then that's all we need to know. And if you don't know, that posture course is already recorded for you guys. You can go on our website, check it out. We have a lot of positive feedback from the course, and we appreciate people who supported us and purchased the course. Everybody said it's extremely clear. So clarity, number one for us.
Something I want to mention about the posture course is that throughout your perhaps I'm going to disappoint somebody right now, but throughout your long dance career, you're coming back to posture every single time. And I would say even outside of dancing, just in our regular lives, we have to come back to posture every day, checking back on our vertical alignment, because this is the health of our spine, of our well-being overall. And of course, for dancing, it's a huge difference. I was watching one masterclass of a famous ballerina. She's super skillful and with huge experience. And she says, I'm coming back to the studio. I'm standing next to the bar to do the warm-up, and I'm checking on my posture every single second, every single moment in time, because it's my alignment. It influences the motion. If there's no posture, cannot do anything on top
of course
later on.
And of course, again, posture comes right after syllabus in our methodology. So whatever we're doing it on top of great posture.
Super fundamental layer.
Going forward to mechanics layer. So what can be the best intention for mechanics layer that we have to always keep in our mind while dancing? I think that should be timing. And we're trying to time the sequence of actions. So first of all, we need to learn the actions and the sequence, and then we only think about timing. It's very hard. Yeah, it is pure coordination. And the mechanics layer is all about yourself, not so much about your partner. So don't track the partner on mechanics layer. Think about what's your plan towards that figure that you already know from the syllabus. If I do bounce, follow, and tumble turn, what is the sequence of actions there? No matter where I am, like day of the week, okay, the weather outside, my intention is to get through bounce, follow, and tumble turn, and I'm going to do A, B, C, D. There is no difficult solutions here. It's all very clear.
And when we talk about mechanics, there are many body actions to coordinate on this layer. So there is movement of the body forward, backward, sideways in space. There are rotations, there are sways.
Rise and fall.
There's rise and fall, of course. Many body parts that can rotate in an isolated way. So we're going to coordinate all of that accordingly. And Yaroslav has mentioned one very good thing: no matter what the weather is, no matter what our mood is, because obviously we're waking up new people every day, we have new cells, we have different feeling for our body.
Very deep.
It is, yes. So we have to re-engage and come back to our intentions every single time we enter the ballroom and we are about to dance something. And many people rely on something that is called muscle memory. And very often, especially in terms of mechanics, because this is the most
practiced layer.
Practice layer, and it's really physical. It's something that it's very tangible, some actions that you do. And many people are losing their intention relying on the so-called muscle memory. So I had the student that came to me and he said, thank you. I gave him the exercise and he said, oh, yes, great. Let's do this exercise. I'm going to do this 5 times and then it will become automatic, right? And
the answer is no.
No, the answer is no. Obviously, when we learn something and we try to apply new, let's say, body action on mechanics layer, we're going to be very, very cautious about it. So there has to be a thought in our head that has to become an intention, and we have to stay cautious about that intention. And whenever we have it in our brains, the brains will send the signals through our
nerve system
to our muscles. So
and muscles will move bones. So pretty much everything starts here. Then we have this nerve system. And then my intention is to straighten my arm. Then I'm straightening my arm. Cannot go any other way around.
Yes. So the answer is intention creates movement. And intention has to kick in every single moment of time. Whether you're dancing for 5 months or you're dancing for 25 years, you have to be very clear and you have to send clear signals to your muscles in order for you to execute whatever you're planning to execute, actually answering Treng's question as well. So sometimes don't rely on muscle memory, right? Always be cautious about what you're doing. Now, good news is the more repetitions you have, and this is why we have practice, and this is how we climb up those layers, let's say, of Prism method, is the more repetitions you have on one subject, and you have very precise and clear repetitions done correctly, let's say on rotation, the more you are getting used to this action, and your focus moves from cautious to subconscious. So this is still something that happens in your brain. This is not something that happens in your muscles. Of course, muscles are trained. They're trained to do certain activity. But in your mind, it moves to subconscious level. Subconscious level. Thank you so much. And then you are not, you don't have to have it on top of your mind all the time. It's sort of at the back of your mind, if I would simplify it. But it's still in your head, first of all. Yes. So this is very important, especially on something that is hard to coordinate.
My favorite, talking about this particular subject, my favorite is that let me do it without thinking.
Oh, this is popular. This is
my
very
favorite.
Popular.
My answer to this is always, please don't.
No.
Yeah, so please don't do it without thinking. Do it with thinking, and do it many times. Maybe like you said, 5 times, 10 times.
500 times.
With thinking, yeah. 25 years with thinking.
We have to find this number, but I'm sure there's a number. It's in the hundreds. It definitely is in the hundreds when we can basically give in a little bit, and we can put another thought in on top of our mind.
Maybe I don't wanna lie right now. There is a number that I remember I have studied in the university, but let's not.
It's a high number.
Let's not mislead our audience, right? All right, guys. So far, any questions or comments before we go further?
Yes.
Yeah, into dynamics.
This is a very exciting one.
How, from 1 to 10, how confused are you with this life? We hope zero confusion. Do you feel, after the information you have just received, do you feel you are on the right track with your intentions during practice, or you feel like that's something you need to have to think about, maybe reconsider a few things?
Yeah.
What do you think? We're just really curious to know.
5.
5 out of 10.
Hello, Yuan.
Okay. Yeah. You guys will discuss it later.
Let me know if you have any questions tomorrow.
During the lesson. Would be worse if everybody comments like 8, 9, 8, 9, or 10. It's soon right track. Oh, on the right track. Well, that's
good.
The direction is really important. Even we move slow, but we go right direction. That's good. I think the word intention here is being used in many ways. Very confused. Okay. 6. Okay.
Well, it's a hard subject, definitely. I will actually give you one example. Very often happened to me. So I'm having a very busy day, and I really want to drink my cup of coffee because I really feel that I can become more productive after another espresso. So I'm thinking, okay, I have to go get the coffee. I have to go get the coffee. And I have this thought in my mind, but I actually never go and get it. So that makes me very confused and slow throughout the day.
That's not intention. Yeah,
it is not intention. I have it in my mind, but I never do it. So until I actually really decide to stop whatever I'm doing, to finish all the work that I'm doing, and to go ahead and make myself a cup of coffee, then I will not have the results that I need to have. So just thinking about it in a very simple way, this will make it clear.
What confused you guys? Can you please let us know? Just few intention, purpose, what to improve, what to learn, etc. Okay. I don't disagree with that.
Of course.
And then if we say intention, purpose, what to improve, what to learn, then we actually have to do it. So that all should mean, what do I improve, what do I learn, and then let's do bounce fall away with this thought process. So what do I do in bounce fall away? What have I learned about, what is my plan for that bounce fall away? It can be in relation to certain mistakes in the past, right? We're all learning from our mistakes, but then there should be an action at the very end.
Exactly. Very often it helps if you, let's say if we're still talking about mechanics, if you have an intention to produce a greater turn, you are breaking down things to a simple exercise, and then you are working on your rotations, and you are doing it over 1 or 2 steps before you are connecting it all together in a bigger figure, in a bigger picture. So the said above, what you're learning exactly, the element that you're practicing, the repetition of it, and actually applying it to a big figure. This is important.
Yeah. Linda has very good comment, in my opinion. Easy to maintain intention during practice, but sometimes in the excitement of the competition, my mind goes on auto. We will definitely come back to it in just few minutes. Yeah.
Get in there.
And I have experienced recently one of our last competitions, very interesting thing where I clearly saw people going crazy during competition and losing the intention. Thanks God it was not me, but our competitors, let's say. Okay. How many thoughts, intentions you could possibly keep in focus at the same time while dancing? Curious. Natasha, great question as well. So we have been addressing this issue of how many things we can keep in mind to one of our teachers. It was like this year, right? So we figured out that, like, me personally, I can keep like 10 plus things in my mind when I'm dancing. And the feedback that I had from the teacher is that he congratulated me. He said that I'm really good, if that's really true.
Multitasking.
Yeah, but actually it's true. I'm not making it up. When we talk about coordination, we have to have at least 2 things to coordinate them. We cannot think about just one thing, because it's nothing to coordinate. Even if I coordinate arms, I need 2 arms. If I have only 1 arm, I cannot coordinate. Whatever I'm doing with 1 arm, that would be the case already. So it should be 2 plus. The more you put after plus, the better, of course. Because we can dance, and our intention and our awareness can be on rhythm, but then we have to see the space around us, and then there is another intention of navigating certain way. Then it can be my partner, it can be music and other things. Yeah, and it becomes very complicated, but it's definitely doable. The more we can keep in mind, the better. We have to have our minds busy. Okay.
And when you just learning something new, definitely spend some time on doing 1 or 2 things. Don't try to do it all at the same time, but the better you become, the more things you are adding on your list, and the more times you repeat, the more it moves back to subconscious.
But it stays there active. It's not like, it doesn't disappear.
Yeah, but the more times you practice, the more you can put in, and the more intentions you can have, and you will be you will find yourself more aware of things around you, deeper awareness about your partner, about emotions. So of course the goal is to have more and expand.
Let's move up to dynamics layer. So what can be a goal and intention that we can achieve during dynamics layer? One of the most important things, it can be the pathways of movement. This is something that hasn't been covered yet so much by us or anybody else really, but it's really an important subject. By pathways of movement, we mean imagery pathways that we are about to move into with the different figures that we're dancing. So it definitely needs, it definitely requires understanding of planes of movement. And we have basically 3 planes of movement and plus rise and fall. We can change level up and down. The planes are sagittal, coronal, and transverse. Some of you maybe heard about this in the past. Maybe most of the people just heard it for the first time. That's okay too. As we said, not so many people work on dynamics and really dig deep into this subject, and we cannot blame them. That's fine too. Not everybody can be expert in everything, but that portion, that dynamics portion, definitely exists, and it influences us whether we are aware of it or not. So our intention should be in dynamics layer to show what kind of pathway we are going to do before we are doing it, to show the pathways, and we need to know what we are going to do before we start our motion and movement. So I can go, let's say, if it's a natural turn, if my intention is to go flat and turn to the right, that's one intention. I have to be clear with that. Or maybe I'm going to go down and turn to the right and then rise. That's completely different pathway, but I have to have an intention to show that pathway. I cannot rely on a luck and say, well, I start natural turn, then we see how it goes.
It's all in the hands of fate.
All in God's hands.
Very good and clear example, hopefully. We are talking about the planes of movement. We have to determine which plane of movement is the priority in certain step, in certain figure. So if we're taking it very generic right now, feather step will have a movement priority. Therefore, there will be sagittal plane that we would want to emphasize and be the most aware of and put our intention into the movement forwards in space or backwards for the ladies in space. Something like spin turn, natural pivots and overturned spin turns will be very transversal, and the priority will be to show that continuous rotation around each other and around the room. So completely different intention. Very often, and it's a super easy, quick fix to apply, because very often in the rotary figures and transversal figures, we're trying to move so much, we're trying to make it linear, and we are prioritizing the sagittal plane. It makes it so difficult for us to turn, because simply our intention is not in the right plane of motion according to the figure that we're trying to do. All right.
We have comment from Dominic. Nice to see you, Dominic, by the way. I've been practicing on my own, so my intention is to practice natural turn with balance, not to just practice routine all the time. I think that's very clear intention. Yeah.
We were there once when pandemic just started.
So our intention was to make sure we do 5 figures, certain combination of 5 figures, and our intention was to say, after we've done it, that we have really done everything according to the plan, right? So it took us 4 weeks to achieve that goal. We were practicing 4 weeks, only 5 figures in waltz. But I must say that after those 4 weeks, we've been dancing for the next 2 years, never touched that line again. Yeah, so that's great if the goal is set very clear, intention is there, and before doing it, you're saying to yourself, that's what I'm going to do. Natural turn, balanced. If that's the intention, that's
great goal
that's
to
great.
have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's in terms of dynamics. Also on dynamics layer, while dancing, our intention can be to be aware of the free space around us and move there into the free space. That is another very good goal to have. And if you're able to achieve it, you will have a lot of dynamics in your performance. Another intention that can be, especially first few like busy rounds, let's say, if you have a lot of couples competing in your groups, intention can be
busy day at the studio, right?
or in the studio, right? Intention can. I'm very competition oriented, right? So to me, it's only competition. Yeah. So the intention can be to avoid traffic, right? So I go there. I will start dancing my routine. Hopefully, I already know what I'm gonna do, the sequence of actions. I'm very coordinated, and my intention is not to hit anyone on the floor. That can be a great intention, but that is connected to dynamics layer, right? Moving up.
Yes, musicality. Next layer of our Prism methodology, musicality.
We think that Lilia will answer.
So what is the difference between musicality and the basic rhythms that we have on our syllabus layer? Again, we haven't spoken much about musicality in our lives yet, and we are going to, hopefully, soon. Musicality versus rhythm is that musicality is something that you put on top of your basic rhythm, sometimes even bending the rules of the original rhythm in terms of your counts and where you put the slows and quicks and syncopation. You can move things around and you can produce movement with different rhythms sometimes and different mood. For example, you could accelerate somewhere or you could decelerate and really hold it. So then in the musicality layer, you can really play around with the timing of things.
Sure, it's an interpretation, and you must bend the rules when you do musicality. Depending on your level, you cannot. Well, I believe if you just dance like under like 5 years, I don't recommend to play with it, right? So you have to stick to the tempo, to the basic rhythms. Make sure the intention is clear. We're going to execute those things. Musicality is more about bending the rules and interpreting things different ways. There are rules to the musicality as well, but those rules are about bending the rules and making different interpretations. So this is that's something we would like to mention. If you want to play with it, you have to have combination of pretty much everything we have mentioned up to this point in our lecture, and plus individual interpretation. So you go there and your intention is musicality, then you take all the risks because sometimes we feel we have this great musicality, but from the outside people are confused looking at us without understanding what exactly we are doing. Yeah, but if that's the intention, to confuse people, then that's okay too, right? So you also guys need to understand that very often it happened during like our career. My intention was to do something and I have achieved it, but the comment I'm getting from achieving it is that someone is confused, right? So someone says, you've done the stumble turn, but that was really strange. Then I'm saying, why was it strange? Well, because of that direction. And then I said,
late, let's say,
I was late. And then I said, well, my intention was to really delay that movement. So actually, I'm happy that I executed. But now I'm very concerned because by making my intention successful, I confuse people, right? So that's the
risk we're taking in musicality layer.
Another angle. Musicality, or it can be direction or something like that. Yeah. So intention can also be dangerous. Depends. We need to have good intentions, okay, or competitive, or whatever the goal is. We are going to move to competitions. So everything we said before this moment, it was more about practice. Now we're going to competitions. Linda asked she made a great comment in terms of easy to maintain attention during practice, but at the competition, excitement kicks in and everything on auto. And we were talking about not being on auto, but being really like full and aware of what we're doing.
Conscious, yeah.
And we have mentioned already comfort zone because of your comments. So we have to know the comfort zone, and our comfort zone is something we have to cherish, right? We expand it by learning more technique and having more tools available for us.
And experience,
Yeah.
having more experience, for example, in terms of competitions. Of course, if it is your first competition, you're going out there, you're going to have everything new happening around you. It is going to be stressful. But the more times you are going to compete, the more familiar you will get with competition atmosphere and surroundings. Then, of course, it will be less of a stress factor to you and more in your comfort zone.
Mhm.
So that will, of course, help you not to get on that autopilot.
One of the main intentions, I would say, that is really helpful to have during the competition is to exclude external factors. And this is really difficult.
Try not, they will be there, but we are
Yeah.
trying to avoid them getting into us, right?
Yeah.
So,
And the other word that was always helpful for us is in a way to detach ourselves from certain situations that we are in. So external factors, they can be very, very simple and silly, but nevertheless, they can influence us greatly. For example, we are dancing slow foxtrot, and let's say that our intention is to be as smooth and continuous as possible, be really full, no rush in our movement, do everything that we have practiced
slow
and
in a way,
prepared.
yeah, and
Then we're
flowing.
getting to competition, and music is really loud. And what we tend to do as a human beings when we hear loud music, even loud music of slow foxtrot, that is not as energetic, let's say, as it can be, we tend to rush. So we have this loud, slow foxtrot music that influences us, if we go, of course, with that external factor, in a way that we are rushing. Now we're doing something opposite from our intention, because our original intention was to make it smooth, soft, and slow, let's say. So this is one of the external factors that we have to deal with, but we need to be aware of it before it happens. And hopefully by watching this live, we bring your awareness to this matter. Next time when there is loud music, you still, keep breathing. Actually, breath can be another good thing during the competition. And keeping yourself in this calm mode, detached from external factors. I could also, we can also say that during the competition, clarity of what you're doing should be one of the top priorities, because when you get to competition, you have different external factors. Costume can be external factor that really shakes things out, or other couples around you can influence you in a way that bringing you a lot of stress. So now clarity of your timing from your mechanics, clarity of your bone structure from your posture becomes even more important. So we have to practice even more to be extremely clear during competition, because too many external factors. We are not thinking about the loud music when we acknowledge there is loud music. We just acknowledge it and we don't do anything with it. Then we just shift our attention to something else that we've been planning to do.
Back to our thing. Yeah.
It is really difficult. I think I was very fortunate because my nerve system is very strong. So during the competition, I don't care about external factors. But
I wasn't as lucky, for example.
Let's say Lilia is not as lucky, right?
And I'm more hyper, and I get to
distracted.
I get to distract, yes. So, or I got to distract in the past. And this is something that I had to always work on. And I think that for me personally, for example, the biggest distraction were always other people. So I know there are my teachers in the room that are watching me, or I know there are competitors that are strong competitors, and maybe they are going to do something next to me, and I'm very, very much distracted by that, and I'm trying to do more or better than them. So this is early in my career was biggest distraction for me, other people really. So let's say with that example with slow foxtrot, when I'm trying to be very slow and very smooth, and then I have my teacher watching me, and I try to really show my best, and I try my hardest, and then I end up faster, I end up out of coordination, and sometimes it is really, well, most of the time it's really bad.
Few bars when you notice the teacher, you're good, but then other few bars you just, too late.
Might be, might be another thing. Yeah, might be you try to look good for somebody, and then once they're not looking at you, you're not trying your best anymore. So might be different ways.
One of important things I would like to mention, let's call it a bracket, okay? So we can have like a big bracket of as a combination of figures. Let's say I don't know why today I'm on slow foxtrot, right? Let's say we do feather step, bounce, fall away, tumble, turn, throwaway, oversway. So this is like a big bracket of figures. 4 or 5 bars. When we take this big bracket and we say our intention, we set up intention very straight. We say we want to be very, very slow on feather step and bounce fall away. Then we want to pick up for whatever reason and be much faster on tumble, turn, and throwaway, oversway. And I'm talking in a sense that we're still on time, right? We're not late or too fast or anything like that. We're on time, but we want to highlight the slow part in the beginning and the quicker part at the end of this big bracket. What you need to be aware of during the competition is that judge makes up an opinion on you, unfortunately, in 2 seconds, right? So this big bracket is much more than 2 seconds. If I am judging someone and feather step and beginning of bounce fall away so slow, and we tend to look heavy when we're too slow, let's say, if it's not done with enough clarity, then my opinion is that something is wrong, that I don't really like it, right? I don't want to see something slow and heavy. I'd rather judge and mark something more swift and outgoing and exciting, let's say. But that part is coming right after. That's your intention. This is your plan. You need to understand that by making this plan, you need to always keep in mind that you've been judged by 2-3 seconds. So that plan, you cannot say that I have a minute of routine and first 30 seconds I will be one state and another 30 seconds I will be another state. It will not work. Because first 30 seconds, people will say you're heavy, and another 30 seconds, people will say you're Russian. And then where is this great contrast that we intended to show to everybody? So that's another way to think about it. If you have this plan and intention, you want to execute something in a certain way, you always have to keep in mind for competition that the time that you will be adjudicated is very short. You have limited time to show your ability. So make up short plans.
Shorter pieces to show contrast.
Yeah, having said that, I don't think that like this is right or wrong. Of course, it would be great if we are the only couple on the floor, all attention is to us, and we can, send message. We have more opportunity in terms of time to send the message, and people can actually understand and read what we're doing. But it exists. We have to be aware of it. Another thing is
probably one of the last points that we want to mention, but nevertheless very important in terms of competition and overall improvement and setting goals for practice, specifically after the competition or after any kind of performance. So let's say we had this great intention to achieve smoothest possible, the most coordinated movement in our international standard for a couple of months. And in the end of this series, we have a competition to really showcase that big and smooth movement. We had this intention, we practiced really hard for it. We come to the competition, and there are some stress factors, perhaps. External factors, perhaps we're not feeling well on the day, fight with a partner, with a teacher, whatever happens. We only are able to produce this much, 30%, 50% of what we have produced at the studio. And perhaps we're getting not as good of a result.
Bad result.
Therefore, yes. So, well, Yaroslav is more straightforward. We're getting a very bad result after that competition because the intention wasn't there. We got distracted. We didn't produce what we were trying to produce. We come back at the studio.
Does that give us a reason to say that our intention was wrong, and we have to change intention for the next competition? In our opinion, no. So the fact that execution failed doesn't mean that the intention was bad, right?
Which happens very often with students, with our students as well. They get
distracted for different reasons.
Therefore disappointed, therefore attempting to change the plan of their improvement. That happens with other couples, especially we noticed a lot throughout our competitive career, noticing what other competitors are doing, and we found that many people are changing the plan and shuffling all the time, and therefore there's a lot of inconsistency between their performances.
It happened to us.
It happened to us when we got off track as well.
Yeah.
So and we tried to learn from those mistakes, and of course looking at it from the outside, it's very obvious. Sometimes it's not as obvious when it happens to us, but we have to really catch ourselves and really ask if there is the will to change that intention, if we are starting to doubt what we're doing, and ask ourselves, did we really deliver that intention to the maximum? Should we try a few more times and really give it a chance?
Normally, we all need more patience in things like that. It can also be like a strange panel, let's say, right? But then the fact that the panel is strange doesn't make us worse dancers if you think about it. So there will be a different competition with different judges, and you will have much better result. And it tends to happen, from time to time. So this is all, it's all the reality.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
your
so
comment.
much, John. Yeah, very kind words. Is there a difference between foxtrot and slow foxtrot? As far as international ballroom, that's the same
dance. Yeah.
Same dance.
We might sometimes say foxtrot. We mean slow foxtrot.
Yeah. That was our last point, guys, in terms of intention during the competition. If let's give ourselves just a few more minutes. If you have any comments or questions, please let us know. We will be more than happy to answer them, and we will be wrapping up.
It's great to do this again. We haven't
we had
done live
little
for
break.
A while.
Sorry, lots of things to do for us, so we got a little busy with that.
All right. Let us know, guys, if you have any questions, and of course, feel free to message us or leave the comments underneath this video. It's going to stay on YouTube for you to watch, rewatch, share with your friends who are dancing as well. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our website, yaroslavlilia.com. There is a lot of videos available there that are available to watch for free. There are our courses, of course. So we do encourage you guys to subscribe to our newsletter. There's a lot of interesting stuff that we are sending out.
We have some questions, actually.
All right, yeah.
Thank you, guys, for your kind words. We really enjoyed this live, as well as others. What is coming up in the near future for you guys, for us? And then are you guys planning on touring different studios like Karina and Pasha? Okay, yeah. So we are still teaching, and we will be developing our methodology. Obviously, keep going forward, produce more videos, and deliver better quality. Yeah, thank you, James. And then in the near future, we actually have lots of exciting plans, which is kind of not in dance industry, but it's very much connected to dancing and arts as well. And we want to share with you that we are a part of a team that is producing a dance show on stage. That show is designed for performing arts centers. It has nothing to do with competitions. We have a great team of dancers. We are not dancing in it. We are on the production side of it. This show is
It's called KOLO
it's called
Dance Show.
KOLO Dance Show. It's show that is inspired by Ukrainian culture. The dancing in the show is still ballroom dancing. Those are not Ukrainian like folk dancing or anything like that. But the theme is Ukrainian culture inspired theme. And that show consists of original music arrangements, different visual arts, and things like that. Premiere will be this year in December in Sarasota, Florida, on December 26th, and at Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall. And then we'll have another performance on December 29th at St. Petersburg, Florida, at Mahaffey Theater. So you can find more information on our Facebook. You can visit our website. It's koloshow.com. I will actually leave it here in the comments. We would be very happy to see you guys there. And if you have more questions about KOLO, please let us know. Our intention was actually to make a different live, just from our pages, and not from the Prism Method page, to talk more about KOLO Dance Show, because we feel like a lot of people get to know this show, but everybody makes up their own opinion about what it is really in the show. So we would like to clarify.
Reveal the secrets of KOLO Dance Show.
Yeah, so just to understand what it really is. But it's a lot of dancing. We have fabulous 5 couples, 4 different styles: standard, Latin, smooth, and theater arts. And the music is absolutely brilliant. It's all Ukrainian music arranged for ballroom dancing with the strict tempo, beautiful songs that produced especially for the
all original arrangements produced for KOLO Dance Show. Trang is saying she wishes she was in Sarasota.
Sarasota or St. Pete.
St. Pete.
And then next year we'll have more locations in Florida and in other states as well.
Yes,
it's
this is a touring show, and we're bringing it to tour across North America next year.
And the very last question we will answer from Diana before we leave. How do you handle nerves and keep it from affecting your performance? What's your order of priorities while dancing in competitions? Shape and travel and connection, etc.
So avoiding nerves
is hard.
Nerves are going to be there, and we actually encourage you to watch one of our previous lives. We're going to leave it in the description under this video, how to deal with performance anxiety or competition anxiety. This is very helpful. We've talked about that subject a lot. And of course, priorities depends on your personal goals, where you are in Prism Method layers. Let's say, are you working on your syllabus? Are you working on your mechanics, dynamics, etc.? So that purely depends on your layer, and your teacher will definitely let you know where you are in terms of development. And this is where you have to keep your intention.
But dealing with nerves, it's the whole different subject that we have covered actually.
Yeah, please watch it. It's very interesting.
We really suggest that life of ours dealing with competition anxiety.
We will link it.
And priorities are always, we have to be on time. So that's number one, because if we're dancing off time, we're not going to be judged well, obviously.
Posture.
Then it's posture and good look in terms of our frame and everything. And then it's a quality of movement, how we really move. Those are 3 simple things that I believe every judge has as a criteria when the judge is watching the couples making their assessment. Yeah. So it's being on time, looking good as far as the posture, and then quality of movement. Those are 3 main priorities.
All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. We're very grateful to you for connecting and sharing the conversation today. Thank you so much for all your wonderful questions. And again,
it was really exciting and interesting for us to read them and to answer them, of course.
Always a pleasure. Again, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our website, yaroslavlilia.com. Let's stay in touch, and we will inform you about the next lives that are coming up.
And this live will be available pre-recorded right after we finish. You can still watch it, rewatch it, share it to your friends. Yeah, you are more than welcome. It's all free. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Have a great evening or morning. I don't know, depends where you're connecting from. Evening for us. Bye-bye.
Bye.